The alien vessel moved slowly through the endless dark. Its long silver body showed signs of strain, small cracks along the outer frame glinting faintly under distant starlight. Inside, the air felt thin and heavy, and the quiet hum of failing systems filled every narrow corridor. The crew had not planned to travel so far from known space. They had followed a weak signal only meant for mapping, but a sudden storm of cosmic debris had torn through their navigation core and left them floating with no clear direction. Commander stood near the main viewing panel. Her eyes stayed on the wide field of stars that stretched in all directions. She did not speak much now. Her people were calm by nature, but even they felt the weight of deep space pressing on their minds. The ship had been drifting for many hours or maybe days. Time had lost its clear shape. Power cells were low, and light systems flickered like tired breaths. A young officer named approached her with careful steps. His voice was soft. He told her the last engine coil had gone silent. The ship could no longer adjust its spin. Their path was ruled only by chance and distant gravity. Nodded slowly. She already knew this moment was coming. Still, hearing it spoken made the situation real. She turned toward the communication console. Its surface pulsed with a weak blue glow. This was their final option, a distress call sent into the void, a message that might never be heard. Their kind did not often ask for help from other species, yet survival now depended on it. Placed her slender hands on the panel and began the sequence. Her voice carried across the damaged system, steady but faint. She explained their position in broken coordinates and spoke of their failing core and dying shields. The message repeated again and again, drifting into the black. Then silence returned. Far away, beyond normal charts and known trade paths, a human warship moved with quiet strength. Its hull was thick and dark, marked with the soft glow of scanning arrays. Inside the command deck, Captain Carter stood over a curved screen filled with lines of data. His face showed years of calm duty, lines shaped by long hours in command. Lieutenant Morgan sat nearby, her eyes quick and sharp as she read sensor feeds. Suddenly, a strange pulse crossed their systems. It was weak and slow, like a heartbeat nearly gone. The computer tried to decode it, struggling with unknown symbols. Leaned closer. She adjusted the range filter and brought up the raw signal. "Captain," she said, "we have an unknown transmission. Signal origin is far beyond our regular patrol grid. It sounds like a distress call." Raised his head, his voice was even, source type. "Not human," replied. "Structure pattern suggests intelligent design. It may be a damaged vessel. Power levels are close to zero." The bridge crew waited. This was the moment where caution and duty often met. Protocol suggested observation first. Unknown crafts could be traps or rogue drones, but saw the thin waveform trembling on the screen. It was not an attack code. It was fear. "Plot a direct course," he said. "Full drive, steady approach, we respond." Some officers exchanged quiet looks, but no one questioned the order. The ship adjusted its angle, and the engine core deep below began to rise in pitch. A soft vibration passed through the metal floor as the warship pushed forward into the void. Back on the drifting alien vessel, remained by the console. Her second aide checked the status board again and again. Critical lines glowed dull red. The food synth had already shut down. They sipped measured amounts of recycled fluid, careful not to waste even a drop. Walked through the main corridor. The walls curved slightly inward, designed to create a calming sense of shelter. But now the air was too still. The lights dimmed as she moved, responding to her body heat. She passed crew members resting against panels, conserving energy. No one spoke loudly. Even footsteps seemed soft, as if the ship wanted quiet peace before its end. She reached the observation bay where a wide window opened into open space. Only darkness greeted her, dotted with far-off stars. The faint outline of a broken solar fin floated outside, drifting slowly. Each turn of the vessel showed different patches of night. She thought of her home world, the wide plains and low sunlight, the sound of slow winds. She wondered if anyone there would ever know where they had gone. On the human warship tracked the faint beacon with growing focus. Signal strength improving, she said. Still unstable. Estimated time to contact 30 minutes. Folded his arms. Medical teams ready. Dr. Laura is already preparing, replied. She set up isolation zones in case of unknown bio-risk. Nodded. They had helped many ships before, but never one so far away from known lanes. This rescue was not about reward or credit. It was the simple duty of guarding open space. As time passed, a dim shape appeared on the long-range screen. The humans zoomed in slowly, careful not to overload the sensors. The alien ship looked worn, like something that had fought against the universe and lost. Its hull showed burns and twisted edges. It barely moved, a silent shell adrift. "Poor thing," murmured. Watched in silence. He felt a slow pull in his chest, not fear, not pride, just a human need to reach what was alone. Inside the alien craft noticed a faint change in background radiation. It was small but different. Her people were sensitive to energy shifts. She tilted her head and returned to the console. The distress signal loop had shifted tone. A new echo bounced back, structured, clear, yet gentle. Hurried beside her. "Commander, the void answers," he said, eyes widening. On the screen, a shape began to form. A large presence, massive compared to their own vessel. It did not rush. It moved with calm control. Its outline grew clearer as it approached, like a guardian rising from darkness. Stared, unsure if hope was wise. This was not a design she knew. It was strong, sharp, yet not meant to terrify. It held purpose. The ship slowed and positioned itself nearby, careful not to disturb the fragile drift pattern. Light beams reached out and swept across their hull in slow arcs, scanning without aggression. Inside, systems trembled but did not fail. "Unknown vessel, this is Captain Carter of the Human Defense Fleet," came a voice through the translator. It was firm but calm. "We detected your distress signal. We are here to assist." His eyes softened. She answered slowly, letting the translator adjust to their tone. "We acknowledge your presence. Our power core is failing. We cannot control movement or sustain life long." "We understand," replied. "We will stabilize your systems, hold position. Do not attempt motion changes. Help is on the way." A strange quiet filled the alien bridge. Not the heavy silence of despair, but something lighter. Allowed a small breath to escape. Placed his hand against the wall, as if feeling the strength of the nearby guardian. On the human ship, engineer Brandon Miles moved swiftly between power control panels. He coordinated the transfer link, carefully adjusting energy flow so the fragile alien craft would not overload. Cables of light connected between the two vessels, bright threads cutting through black space. Watched the view panel as their ship held steady near the drifting one. He could see small figures inside through faint glimpses of their window. Foreign forms, scared but alive. "Steady flow now," Brandon said over comms. "Starting micro-charge support. Oxygen balance should stabilize soon." Released a slow breath she had not realized she was holding. "Nature of signal now stable," she said. "They are no longer losing core power." Inside the alien ship, the lights stopped flickering. A gentle warmth returned to the floor. The air felt easier to breathe. Could feel the change in the structure around her, like a wounded creature easing its pain. She touched the communication console once more. "Human captain," she said, "we feel the shift in energy. Your assistance preserves our lives." "You're safe now," answered simply. "We won't let you drift alone out here." Paused. No one had ever spoken to her with such direct care. The vast void outside still roared with silence, but between these two ships, a quiet bond began to form. A fragile bridge of understanding stretched across species and stars. And in the deep, uncaring night of space, The legend of the human warship answering a lonely call had just begun. The two ships remained side by side in the open silence. The human warship held its position with careful balance, its engines keeping a steady rhythm. Soft light continued to flow from its systems into the damaged alien vessel. Inside the alien craft, crew members moved with slow relief, their bodies no longer fighting against cold and failing air. Walked through the central passage again. She could feel the power in the walls, the faint vibration of life returning to metal and circuit. The tension on many faces began to soften. Some of the younger crew whispered to each other, their voices filled with quiet wonder at the sudden change in fate. Followed close behind her. "Commander, core temperature is stabilizing. They are correcting our balance fields." "They are careful," replied. "They treat our ship as if it were their own." Back on the human vessel kept her attention on the paired displays. The alien ship data was still unfamiliar, but patterns were forming. Small system loops were recovering, one by one. She adjusted the flow limits to keep the transfer smooth. Watched her for a moment. How long before they can maintain power on their own? "Hard to say," answered. "Their tech is different, but with our support they should survive the next cycle. After that, it depends on how damaged their main core is." Nodded. "Keep it steady, no rush." Dr. Laura waited in the medical zone. Clean white walls curved around the room, and sealed doors stood ready in case of direct contact. She reviewed the basic scan results, which showed low gravity effects and exhaustion among the alien crew. Nothing suggested hostile signs, only weakness and strain. As minutes passed, a new channel opened between the two ships. This time, the signal carried more detail. Translated words formed slowly, shaped by layered algorithms. "Human vessel," said, her tone calm but weighted with emotion. "We wish to express deeper understanding. Who are you that answer unfamiliar calls without delay?" Stepped closer to the comm panel. "We are explorers and guardians," he said. "We travel these routes so others do not vanish without notice. When a voice asks for help, we answer. That is our way." Considered his words. "Your way carries great risk. Does this not weaken your own strength?" "We believe true strength is shown when we protect what cannot protect itself," replied. A soft pause followed. Even across the void, the meaning carried weight. On the alien ship, crew members listened quietly as the translation echoed through internal speakers. Meanwhile, Brandon Miles continued reinforcing the system bridge. He altered converter grids to match the alien frequency. Sparks of faint light moved along the cable line like gentle spirits. "Energy alignment complete," he reported. "They are stable for now." Turned slightly. "Initiate step 2, partial guidance control." Back aboard the alien vessel, a low vibration spread through the frame. The craft responded with a careful shift, correcting its angle in space for the first time since the damage. Watched the outside view where the stars slowly changed position. "We are moving," he whispered. "No," said softly, "we are being guided." On the human bridge, guided the linked control feed. Their systems now helped the alien vessel hold a stable heading. The human ship moved as an anchor, gentle but firm. Outside, the two crafts drifted like silent companions within a sea of black, far from any known beacon or station. During the next cycle, requested a shared visual link. She wished to observe those who had come to their aid. The transmission was accepted and a soft image formed on her screen. It showed a human command area. Lights, panels, quiet movement. Then a figure stepped into view. Stood before the camera. His expression was steady, but his eyes carried warmth. "Commander," he said, "I am the one who spoke earlier." Inclined her head slightly. "Your presence has altered our end, Captain. Our people will remember this moment." "Just focus on staying alive," he replied. "Memories can come later." On the alien craft, crew members gathered behind, watching with wide curiosity at the human form. Different shape, different stance, yet not threatening, simply real. On the human ship, and Laura observed the alien silhouettes through their own screen. Silent respect filled the air. This was not just rescue, it was first understanding. Continued, we will escort you to a safer route. From there, we can guide you toward Allied territories where proper repairs can take place. We accept this path, answered. Our trust rests with your command. Once the communication ended, the operation moved into a new phase. The human warship adjusted its course and gently pulled the alien vessel into motion. The stars outside shifted in slow streams as both crafts began their long journey toward known space. Inside the alien corridors, life slowly returned. Restrained laughter could be heard. Some spoke of home again. Some slept for the first time in relief. Allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. She knew danger still existed. Deep space did not forgive easily. But the void no longer felt empty. On the human ship, the crew relaxed slightly but remained alert. Long-range scanners reached out into surrounding darkness. Faint signals, distant echoes, and occasional silent debris moved across the display. Studied the far sweep and noticed a weak fluctuation. It was nothing clear yet, but enough to draw concern. She marked the coordinates and flagged the line for passive watch. Noticed her silence, something there. Maybe, she said, just a ripple could be nothing. Keep eyes on it, he replied. As hours passed, the linked ships continued onward. The human vessel stayed close, like a shadow with purpose. The alien craft followed as best it could, relying on the borrowed strength of unfamiliar allies. Stood once more by the observation panel. The glow of the nearby human ship filled part of her view. It was like a moving star of metal and will. She wondered how many other calls it had answered, and how many silent graves it had prevented. Approached with a slower step. Commander, some of the crew wish to meet the humans. They want to understand them. All in time, she said. We must remain careful, but curiosity is not wrong. It is how bonds begin. On the human side, Laura prepared a calm entry plan. If direct interaction became possible, it would be gradual and safe. No rush, no force. Reviewed their flight path. The nearest stable zone was still many hours away, but the distance no longer felt hopeless. He looked once more at the alien ship beside them. Its lights held steady. Its rotation remained balanced. It was no longer simply wreckage lost in the void. It was a living presence traveling beside them. And beyond their shared path, unseen in the wide darkness, shadows stirred with distant intent. Faint echoes of pursuit flickered just beyond sensor clarity. But for now, the two ships moved on together, unaware that the gentle calm ahead was only the breath before a coming storm. The calm that followed felt gentle but uncertain. The two ships moved together through open space, their shared path guided by quiet trust. But far behind them, hidden by distance and weak light, unknown forces slowly traced the fading echo of their signal. On the human warship, watched the long-range display with growing focus. The faint ripple she had noticed earlier began to repeat in soft waves. It did not follow a natural pattern. It moved with intent. She adjusted the scan filter and leaned closer. Captain, she said, I am seeing movement behind us, still weak but more defined now. Step toward her station, trajectory. Approaching slow but steady, unknown signature, not natural debris. His jaw tightened slightly. Maintain course but increase alert level. Silent shield readiness only. Do not spook our guests. On the alien vessel, felt a strange tension return to the air. It was not as heavy as before, but it was present. Her people sensed shifts before machines spoke them. She rested her hand against the smooth inner wall, feeling the faint tremor. Commander said, there is something distant in the field. Our sensors are not fully restored, but the tone feels wrong. We are not alone, said quietly, but we are not unprotected. Across the connection, opened the communication channel. There is slight movement behind us. We do not yet know its nature. Remain calm. We will handle this. Nodded slowly. We trust your guidance. On the human ship, small defense teams moved to assigned posts. Pilot Cole checked the interceptor deck, his hands moving smoothly across the console. Weapon systems powered up in passive mode, ready but not aggressive. Dr. Laura remained focused on the alien ship's health data. The life signs showed improvement, but stress levels were rising again. She noted it and sent a gentle air pressure adjustment to ease their internal atmosphere. Outside, the stars remained sharp and quiet, but behind them, faint outlines began to grow, like shapes forming inside shadow. 3 small crafts moved in a loose line, their hulls dark and rough. They did not follow direct routes. They stalked like predators that waited for weakness. Contact clarity rising, said. Multiple crafts, speed moderate, not using normal beacon systems. Studied the screen. Hold formation, no aggressive moves. We protect, we do not provoke. On the alien craft, observed the change through the shared display. She saw the distant shapes and felt old fear brush her mind. Her people had faced raiders before, cold forces that hunted drifting ships for resources. Whispered, those shapes match patterns we once fled. We will not flee this time, she replied softly. We are not alone now. Prepared a clear message. Unidentified vessels, this is human defense craft. You are approaching protected space. Alter course immediately. No hostility is desired. Silence answered. The vessels continued forward, closing the gap between them with steady intent. Repeat transmission, said. Send it again, still no response. They ignore us, muttered from the pilot lane. His tone remained calm but firm. Raise shields to partial. Maintain escort distance around the alien ship. Energy fields shimmered around the human hull, faint blue patterns spreading like thin glass. The alien craft was enclosed within a protective arc as well, though softer in strength so it would not strain their failing systems. As the hostile crafts moved closer, they split into 2 lines. One moved toward the alien ship, the other toward the human vessel. Their intent was now clear. Hostile action probable, said. Inhaled slowly. Defensive response only. Precision fire if range breach occurs. The first pulse came without warning. A narrow beam struck the edge of the alien hull, causing a sharp vibration. Slight damage appeared along a weakened panel. Inside, crew members stumbled. The lights flickered briefly. Held her ground. Maintain calm, she called. Stay to inner zones. Another pulse followed, this one aimed at the human ship. It hit the shield and scattered in a bright flare. They fired, said. Permission to respond. Granted, replied. Disable, not destroy. Human turret arrays rotated smoothly into position. Narrow bolts of controlled force cut through space. The first hostile craft swerved but took a glancing hit on its outer shell. Sparks flew into the void. Another raider moved to attack from the side, trying to slip past the shield. Guided the ship with careful turns, keeping the alien vessel within the safety arc. On the alien bridge, watched as the human ship placed itself slightly forward, taking on most of the threat. It acted like living armor, defending a fragile presence without hesitation. They shield us, said in awe. They stand between danger and us, replied quietly. The attackers increased pressure. 2 beams struck the shields in quick succession. Energy rippled but held firm. Human systems adapted their frequency to counter each strike. Shield stable, confirmed. Minor fluctuation only. Kept his gaze unwavering. Return measured force pushed them back. Another series of shots flew from the human vessel. One raider's engine wing snapped loose, spinning away into darkness. The vessel slowed and tried to retreat. The remaining craft circled wider, looking for an opening that did not exist. Every attempt was blocked by disciplined response. Inside the alien vessel, panic slowly softened into stunned silence. The crew had not expected such defense from strangers. Their lives, once moments from fatting, were now held by firm human resolve. After several minutes of tense exchange, the hostile crafts began to withdraw. They fired a final stray pulse and turned away, fading back into the wide black. Nature's quiet returned slowly. "Targets retreating," said. "No further pursuit detected." Exhaled. "Maintain monitoring but do not chase. Let them go." On the alien ship, lowered herself into a seated position. The air trembled with relief. Soft sounds of gratitude passed through the crew. She opened the channel again. "Human captain, you placed your vessel between harm and our destruction. Such action is not forgotten." His voice carried steady warmth. "No life drifts alone when we can reach it. You are under our protection until you are safe." Brandon checked the connection systems. Their hull took light damage from the first hit, but structure integrity is holding. We can reinforce on the next cycle. Laura reviewed the readings. Stress marks are high but stable. They will recover. As travel resumed, the sense of unity between both crafts grew stronger. A quiet trust filled the space between metal and starlight. On the alien vessel, some crew members gathered near the view panel to watch the human ship glide beside them. Its motion was controlled, its presence strong but calm. No threat, only quiet strength. "Are all humans like this?" asked softly. "I believe they are driven by duty," answered. "Not for praise but for life." On the human side, sipped water and allowed her shoulders to relax. "They backed off quick," she said. "They expected fear," replied. "They found resistance instead." Looked toward the alien ship again. Faint silhouettes moved inside. He felt the strange comfort of purpose. It was moments like this that defined what humanity meant in the cold expanse. Soon, the scanner showed the outline of distant safe zones, faint signals from recognized sectors. The path forward began to show structure again. But the danger was not fully over. Behind distant stars, other watchers might still observe, and deeper fears could still rise. Yet for now, the two crafts moved on, guided by shared purpose and silent respect, knowing the bond formed in the void was no longer fragile. It was becoming something stronger, something real. The voyage continued through layers of quiet starlight. Both ships moved in calm alignment now, the tension of battle easing into a steady rhythm of travel. The alien vessel no longer drifted with helpless motion. Under the careful guidance of the human systems, it followed a stable path toward known space, where safety and repair awaited. On the human warship, the bridge felt balanced again. Low conversation replaced sharp commands. Soft system tones marked stable patterns. Remained at his station, his attention focused but relaxed, watching the growing signals of friendly territory appear ahead. "We should reach the outer boundary in less than 3 hours," said. "From there, we can pass them to allied support teams." "Good," replied. "Until then, full escort posture stays active." Inside the alien ship, walked the corridors with ease now. Her people were no longer silent with fear. Soft voices filled the passageways. Ration systems had partially returned, and the air cycles flowed smooth and steady. She paused near the observation panel once more, where the human ship moved beside them like a loyal guardian. Stepped near her. "Commander, the crew feels safe again. They speak of home without trembling." "Then this moment has given more than survival," she said. "It has returned hope." As time passed, decided to strengthen communication. She wished to understand these humans beyond duty. She opened a live channel. Appeared on her screen once more. "Captain," she said, "we approach your protected borders. Soon our paths will divide. I wish to express recognition beyond formal exchange. Your choice to protect us altered our fate." He offered a small, polite movement of his head. You survived because you endured long enough for us to reach you. Your strength helped as much as our own. Before this journey ends, she continued, my people ask one question. Why did you come so quickly? Paused for a brief moment, his gaze softened. Because we once drifted too, he said. Humanity knows what it means to be alone in the dark. We swore that if we ever heard another voice lost in the void, we would answer. Silence followed, but it was gentle silence, full of shared meaning. On the human ship, Laura began preparing for possible face-to-face contact. The alien crew had now stabilized enough to allow a brief, controlled meeting in a sealed chamber. She coordinated protocols with the alien medical system, careful to respect their biological limits. A short while later, agreed to meet Dr. Laura. Both sides followed careful procedures. Protective fields adjusted pressure and temperature to safe shared levels. When the access corridor opened, stepped forward. Her form moved with graceful caution. Laura stood across from her, eyes calm and open. Neither spoke at first. No fear filled the air, only quiet respect. You are safe here, Laura said softly. Your care has restored our strength, replied. It will not be forgotten. This simple meeting marked a turning point. Two worlds touched in peace, not in war, not through trade or conquest, but through rescue. Back on the bridge, monitored the approach to the outer safe corridor. Multiple Allied signals now appeared on the display. Automated traffic beacons pulsed gently, marking familiar routes. We are entering stable zone, she announced. Escort handover in 1 hour. Nodded, prepare final report and transfer coordination. Outside, the view shifted from empty darkness to patterned light fields of known navigation space. Faint trails of passing ships could be seen far off, symbols of life and movement returning. On the alien vessel, gathered her crew one final time at the communication bay. Faces that once looked hollow now carried calm certainty. We are nearing safe passage, she told them. Soon we will travel under our own guidance again. Remember what strength and mercy look like. Remember the hands that reached us when silence surrounded our path. Many bowed their heads in quiet agreement. As the moment of parting approached, sent a direct channel once more. Commander, he said, your ship will soon be within Allied repair range. After transfer, our escort duty ends. She responded with composed grace. We understand, yet our journey will forever carry this moment. If our paths cross again, we will remember the guardian who chose compassion. Allowed a small breath of relief. Travel safely, he said. Let your people know they are not alone in this universe. And let yours know that kindness echoes longer than fear, replied. The transfer beacon from the Allied fleet activated. Repair ships moved closer, slow and careful, preparing to assist the weakened alien craft. The human warship slowly adjusted its angle, easing out of direct alignment. Cables of light disconnected in gentle steps. The shared flow of power ended, replaced by newly restored systems within the alien vessel. Their engines hummed with fresh strength, no longer dependent on outside supply. Inside the alien ship, soft vibrations signaled renewed independence. The crew watched as the human vessel drifted slightly away, still present but no longer attached. A strange feeling filled them, not fear, but the sadness of farewell joined with gratitude. Spoke quietly, I never thought the void could hold such guardians. Neither did I, said, yet now we know different. On the human ship, exhaled as the last connection disengaged. They're stable, she confirmed. Escort complete. Watched as the alien craft moved forward under its own command, escorted by Allied support units. Its lights remained steady, its form proud. Set course for Patrol Loop Delta, he said. Somewhere, another voice may still need us. Smiled faintly at his console. Always the same, Captain. Always the same, replied. That is who we choose to be. The human warship turned slowly. its engines glowing softly as it returned to the open silence. The stars welcomed it back into endless paths, endless duty, endless watchfulness. Far behind observed the fatting outline of the vessel that had saved them. Though distance grew, the memory did not shrink. She recorded the moment into her people's history, marking it as a turning point where strangers became protectors and despair met compassion. As her ship continued toward restoration, she looked once more into open space. It no longer felt empty. It felt watched over, listened to, understood. And somewhere beyond the curves of light and distance, the human warship moved onward, seeking nothing but the next call drifting through deep space, ready to answer without question, without delay, and without leaving any voice unheard in the silent dark.